Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inspiration Tuesday. I see you all coming on. Lovely to see your faces. Yeah, I've been multitasking, been on Instagram, and now here I am with you. So this is lovely. This is how you multitask in several places at the same time because of technology. We are closing out the month. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can remember saying hello, welcome to November. Now I'm saying hello, goodbye to November. Thanksgiving is just a few days away. And at some point throughout this month, we have been in planning mode. And so, because of that, we're excited about getting ready for Thanksgiving, but we're also excited about what God has put in our hearts to do, what we've been planning to do, what we've seen small evidence of, and then what we are waiting to see the fullness of what God is saying and what God is doing. So I'm thankful for you all coming on. I can see Louisiana on and I can see Canada on. So we give the others a chance. They'll come on, but we'll keep going. So let's just do a quick recap of this month. Are you in planning mode was the question. And then there was my checklist. If you follow me on social media, my checklist of all the things that we are planning for and planning about. And so are you in planning mode? And we started with Proverbs 16 and verse 3. And I read it from the Amplified Version. Commit your works to the Lord. Submit and trust them to Him, and your plans will succeed if you respond to His will and guidance. And as you know, that there are so many things that are in our hearts to do. There's so many things that sometimes we overcommit. That's my weakness and strength. I overcommit to things. I overcommit to my planning. I put too many things to do in one day, and sometimes it gets pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. But at least I am in planning mode, right? And that's what we've been talking about. You have to be in planning mode. And when you commit your works to the Lord and you have to wait for it to be fulfilled, that means you have to submit it to Him and you have to trust Him. And in the trusting of your desires and the trusting of your planning, it might take time, but He reminds us that you will succeed. Your plans will succeed if you respond to His will and, most importantly, His guidance. Because as God guides you, He gives you the wisdom. In guidance is always wisdom of how to apply yourself to God's will and how to bring it, how He will help you bring it to pass. Then we talk about mindset and thought patterns. This was a really good week, and I've got some really good feedback from you, which concluded many, Proverbs 19, verse 21, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And when you think of the word prevail, you think of the word length of time. And so it could take, very quickly it's understood, or it takes a while for it to come into fruition. For people to come, especially if you're working with a team or looking to work with a team, sometimes it takes time for them to understand what your commitment is, what your vision is, how it's going to be implemented, how will they help in the administration of it. And so there's that prevailing. You've got to sometimes wait for people to catch up. That's not always a good thing when you're impatient like me, but God has taught me over the years, and not months, over the years, to be patient. And one of the things that I have to say that I have learned is that excellence takes time. That's a word for somebody. Excellence takes time. When you rush something, it's not done right. You've got to go over it. It takes more energy to redo it. So take the patience to lay things out properly, to train up. I remember years ago going to various management or classes or management sessions. And one of the phrases that I learned that I've implemented in my own life is that take the time to train people. Don't rush the training. Take the time to train them. Don't assume that they know. And so when you have many plans and you've got people that you've got to work with to make that plan come to pass, make that plan come into, we love the word fruition. I love the word evidence. To make that plan become evident, it is tangible. It takes time. It takes prevailing. It takes patience. It takes working through the mistakes. And sometimes those of us that are mature or in good management, they don't say it's a mistake. It says we say it's an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to improve, opportunity to make it better, and then get everybody's thoughts in it. Because now you're building teamwork in your planning. This is the main thing that I realized in this month. Planning takes teamwork. And God is some of you, God is training you. Yeah, amen. Excellence takes time. Some of you, God is training you to build a team, to build that excellence of work, to build that excellence of the evidence that you're looking to see fulfilled. That is a word right there. The evidence that you're looking to see being fulfilled. And so mindset and thought patterns. And one of the things that we was highlighted in that week is that the study of thoughts. And I don't want to go over everything, but this is one of the things that really stood out. They concluded that the study, by estimating, we have 6.5 transitions of thought each minute. And I emphasize that those of us that are creative, those of us that are in management, I'm sure it's more than 6.5 thoughts, because the more creative that you are, the more demanding your task is. You are constantly thinking, right? So they use young people for this. And so I'm going to stick with that. And it was 6.5 transitions each minute. And the average young adult would have about 6,000 thoughts throughout the day. And when I did a study on this in our Inspiration Tuesday, I think about maybe a year or 2 years ago now, I discovered that although we have so many thoughts, but 90% of those thoughts are repetitive negative thoughts. And so we've got to really train our mind. Many are the plans in a man's heart. And in that plan is that thought process. And in that thought process is understanding how to take control of the negative thoughts and how to really emphasize the positive thinking, the things that once you think it, you're going to put it into operation. You're going to write it down. You're going to make it possible to remember it. You won't get lost in the negative thoughts. You will have that power of recall. Oh, that's a good word. That power of recall, so that we are constantly being, what's the word? Encouraged by our positive action, our positive actionable thoughts. I like that. Positive actionable thoughts. Somebody's going to write that down. We talked about last week plans that are accelerated. If there's ever a time this month, each month I've seen where I've made plans and it is accelerated. It's taken on a life force of its own and happened quicker and bigger than I expected. So I'm planning and it has accelerated and even enlarged more than I thought it would be. And that's good planning right there. It's a good administrative problem to have when it's bigger than what you've expected. And then the rejoicing, because it's not just about you, it's all the people that got involved with the execution of the plan. You're going to hear me use that word a whole lot, and I'm loving the amens, the execution of the plan. So there are things that are accelerated. And that scripture is Isaiah 28 and verse 29. All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. And I love reading things from different translations. That's from the NIV, because sometimes reading from different translation gives you a whole new emphasis. Thank you. A whole new emphasis of understanding of what it is that God is trying to highlight again in your life. Give you that fresh rhema, that fresh exuder of life in your thought pattern. And so just brightening up your spirit, man, with knowing that all the plans that you have comes from the Lord Almighty. And it could be a yes, it could be let's wait, it could be not right now, but he's given you all these plans. And so you've got to have that discipline to make sure that you write it down. And that was yes, hello. And that was one of the words that the Lord, personal word that the Lord gave me for this year. I remember saying that to you, is that if I don't write it down, it won't get done. And this year I've seen more discipline in writing things down and checking it off. Sometimes I come in and I say to the team, okay, this is my mental list. I've done this mentally. And then I sit still and I write it down, or mentally I speak it out. And so they hold me accountable to get it done. However the Lord deals with you, know the discipline of the routine that he has for you, getting the plans out. Expressing it is the right word. You've got to be able to express the plan. So what's going on for this week? This week, let's talk about having no plans. Oh my gosh, it's Thanksgiving week and you've got no plans. Okay, let's talk about it. We talked about accelerated plans. We talked about the plans that you have that God has given. We talked about when the plan accelerate. Let's talk about now when you have no plans. Oh my gosh, what does that scripture even look like? There's so many, but this is the one that I picked for today. 2 Thessalonians 3 and verse 11. And I'm reading from the Amplified. I see you all saying hello to each other. It's lovely. Indeed, we hear that some among you are leading an undisciplined and inappropriate life, doing no work at all, but acting like busybodies, meddling in other people's businesses. In other people's business. Oh, that could take on so much right there, right? But let's just break it down. We're talking about no plans. And when you have no plans, you can just be wandering throughout not just the day, but the months and the months lead into years. Sometimes you ask people, what are you planning? And they said, oh, I've got nothing planned. But that means that they can be awkward in being in your role or in your daily routine. Let's say it another way. They could ruin your daily routine because they have no plans and you've got a structured plan day. What does that even look like, having no plans? I really don't know, because I've never had a day with no plans. And the few days that I've had is just to rest and decompress. But what does that look like, having no plans? You've got no plan for your tomorrow. You've got no plans for your future. You're just going to take it as it comes. What does that even look like? Take it as it comes. If there's an emergency, you'll deal with it, or you'll say, I'll put it off for another day. Procrastination is you've got a plan, but you're putting it off the next day. At least you have a plan. Having no plans, you're just, the word is meandering, just wandering through your life. And I love what I had to look this up to remind myself. Benjamin Franklin says, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. One more time. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Having no plans, you've got nothing to measure your success by. You've got nothing to measure. I talk about evidence, the evidence of what is in your heart to do. You've got no plans. You've got no desire to work towards anything. And so I'm training you, provoking you to think about what it is that is in your heart to do. Yes, right? What is in your heart to do? Because we've all been around people with no plans who jump in our day and mess things up because they now have an emergency because they didn't have a plan. And so my phrase for always, especially with my young adults who were young children at the time, they would always invoke their schedule on me, to which I would respond that you are not in my schedule today. I have a plan and you are not in my plans for today. And then I end up changing my schedule and my plans to fit them in. So some of you might try that. You are not in my schedule today, for the people that don't plan. However, at some point you have to, because it's forced upon you, you have to bring them in to your daily routine. You have to make space for them, time and space for them, and execute what they need. It's all about execution. You hear me use that word a lot. All about execution. And so what is the challenge? The challenge is that you're dealing with undisciplined people. People that don't plan, undisciplined. Let's name it for what it is. You might not like me after this, but I hope that you stay with me. Undisciplined. They lack control of behavior and have disorganized manners, have erratic behavior patterns. There's no structure in what and how they do things because they are not they're not planning. They're just in reaction mode, and they cannot perform under a controlled environment. A controlled environment is a stress-free environment sometimes. Sometimes the stress is because you're doing too much at one time. But a stress-free environment is you've got things planned, you've got things organized, and even though that it might be chaotic, but you're able, because you're mature and you've dealt with situations like this, you're able to bring things into some form of order that you can see a desired end result. I love that. That's just flowing in my thoughts because I've got a picture of so many things that I've seen go haywire. And because I've been in that type of environment, I know the end result that I want because I planned. So I know how to bring everything back into order, into a controlled environment, so that we can have the result or the outcome that we're looking for. It might not be perfect, but we have an end result that we can tweak and perfect. We've got now an opportunity to make it better. So lack of planning will always cause someone to move you from your priority and cause a constant state of emergency. What will lack of planning do? It will always mean that you're in need of something. And that something, there's a list. You can name what that something is, right? You cannot set goals, and so you can't accomplish anything. And so at the end of the month, at the end of the week, even at the end of the day, you have nothing to say that, hey, this is what I accomplished. This is what I've written out. This is what I've typed out. This is come and see my tidy room. Come and see the decluttering of my space. You made plans to declutter. Sometimes some of us have to make really long-term plans about decluttering, but that's another episode, another month's episode. However, right now, you have to understand and be aware of the people around you that are not planning. What is the characteristics of not planning? The Bible calls it slothfulness, and it describes it as a temperamental inability to act promptly or speedily when action or speed is called for. Management will call this a lack of planning. Can I say it to you again? It's an inability to act promptly or speedily when action or speed is required. Again, you've got this organized, controlled environment that no matter how haywire things get, you know that there has to be an end result. There has to be actionable evidence of what you have done, actionable things taken place. How to overcome this? Let's talk about how to overcome this. You start with making plans for one day. You list them. You add time frame. You set boundaries with your time so that you're able to fulfill at least one task. Um, a favorite phrase that I have when I'm in conference mode and there's a whole bunch of people, I've taught this to the team and trained the team to do this, especially when you're working with new people. You give them one job. It's because you're giving them a time frame, you're giving them a structured environment, and you're seeing what their skill set is with that one job. With that one job comes actionable evidence. Somebody's going to love that. That's a nice, polite way. It comes actionable evidence. And that actionable evidence shows you, the person who's over everything, how that person manages that task. Did they do just what you asked for? Did they go over and above? Did they do it and then plan for the next event or the next day, so that they're not coming in rushing the next day? They've already got things set in motion. So important that because some of you will be in planning mode. You can use this. You can use this. Simple example over this coming week during Thanksgiving. You know, you've got family members, you've got friends coming over. Can you give them one task and see how they do it excellently? Management, you're looking to promote somebody. Somebody asked about that when you're looking to promote somebody, give them one task over the course of what they call it, 3 months or 6 months or even a year. When you do that evaluation and you see, have they taken on different levels of responsibility, or they've kept steady at the same thing. And then when you evaluate, do they do just enough? Do they go overboard? Do they give you that extra mile? Do they use incentive? Were they innovative, right? Were they creative with how they did it? And so it stands out. Did they just give you one thing? You asked for one thing and they gave you options so that you have choices. Come on, somebody. And that's how you overcome the ability of lacking to plan, the ability of being undisciplined. You set boundaries. Do something small to celebrate your achievement. And today, I just thought about this week how I took a picture. I had a picture in my phone of my worship team, and we were getting together on this new project. And I got it framed. And so when they walked in the office and they started going, oh, of all the times that we're taking pictures together, but they came in because we were in a small environment doing something creative, and to remind them that they are my team. And so do something small. Maybe it's a picture that you get framed and you keep it in front of you. Maybe something that you write and you put it on a sticky note, or you print it off really colorfully, or you write it really colorfully, because you don't have the money to print, you don't have the time to go to Walgreens or CVS to print it off. And so do it, and so you keep it before your face to encourage you. Send it to somebody so they will celebrate you. What a lovely segue. So I'm having Celebrate You December the 6th. And I hope that some of you committed verbally. I need you to commit physically and register to come and be with me. Let me hear your testimony. Let the excitement in the room, hear your testimony. Those are still struggling with what they're doing, come and be encouraged and hear the testimonies of those that have come through, because it's been a real tough year. Let's be honest, it's been a real tough year. And so let's encourage ourselves. And then there's things that you get from me. I get to say, I give away. You get this and you get that. So there's some brilliant things. If you've seen the post, some brilliant things that you can receive just by being in attendance. And the big ticket item, there's always a big ticket item. And then let me tell about it this year, because our big ticket items is from one of our sponsors, a long-time mega woman participant with us. And so she is giving away a trip to Paris, or paid for. All you've got to do is pay your flight and the taxes, and 5 days, I think it is, 5 days, 4 nights. Anyway, all the details are there. So I hope that you will register. There's no Infinity Center, and there's no I Will Pray this week, so you can spend time with the family. We can spend time with our family, and then we'll see you very soon. But on Friday, look out for the social media promotions. On Friday to Monday is a special code for registration for Mega Women, because I don't want you to come alone. So I want to encourage you to come with somebody, to look out for that special announcement. And those of you that are cooking and using up, I hope you are using up your kosher kitchen seasoning. I want you to know that you can order. They've got a special promotion just for you, for our kosher kitchen people, for everybody, for those of you that buy the kosher kitchen seasoning, for kosher kitchen, for everybody that purchases our seasoning, you can stock up over this Black Friday and get your bundles and enjoy. And for those of you that will be cooking, I want to see your pictures and tag us on Official Kosher Kitchen, and so that we can post it. So that we can post it and get you there. And see what you're cooking and how you're cooking. I don't like going live, but they've challenged me to go live while I'm cooking. So it's going to be so much fun. I hope that you are thankful for what God has done for you. And we're thankful because we are planning. Hallelujah. So thank you all for joining me today. And please click like, please click share, because this is Inspiration Tuesday on our YouTube channel. So you can pull up the link and share with others. Glad to see you coming on. This will be replayed, and I love you all. Have a great week and keep planning. Whatever you do, keep planning. Planning for success. Planning is success.